Welcome to Peoria High School, home of the Panthers, for this huge West Side rivalry volleyball matchup between, like I said, the Peoria Panthers and the Cactus Cobras. And we are coming to you live here on IBNSports.com. Like I said, from, well, the second gym at Peoria High School. They're having some problems with their first gym. Or their main gym. There's some floor problems and it was deemed unsafe. So obviously the players' health and safety is the most important thing. But so far Cactus has gotten the better side of this West Side rivalry with the freshman and JV games, taking both of those. I'm Michael Caratanino, by the way, joined by Craig Maynard, who'll be giving you all the phenomenal shots of the game here at Peoria High School. Cactus is 1-0 on the season, coached by Lindsay Walls. Peoria's head coach is Michelle Stoffi. Starting lineup for the visiting Cactus Cobras. Number 3, Michaela Jones. Number 5, Christina Whitman. Number 4, Christina Whitman. Number 5, Natasha Lucero. Number 6, Chelsea Thompson. Number 11, Nicole Blanar. Number 15, Kaylin Miller, and the libero is number 9, Carly Beer. For the Peoria Panthers, starting lineup, number 3, the sophomore, Taylor Blue. Number 8, the senior, Jordan Cosgrove. Number 9, the captain, the senior, Bailey Nations. Another senior captain, number 10, Brittany Dobson. Number 13, Meg Gross, and number 14, Ellie Salcedo. As Brittany Dobson will serve to start for Peoria, who blocked at the net and unable to pop it up is Jordan Cosgrove. Oh, and the libero, number 4, as you see on the court for the Panthers, is Savannah Medina, the junior. Now going back to serve for Cactus will be Natasha Lucero, 13 leading 1-0, and Lucero gets the ace. A fast start for the Cobras. Makes it 2-0 here at Peoria High School. Like I said, the freshman team, Cactus's freshman and JV team, won both those matches. So trying to make a clean sweep on the road in enemy territory. This rivalry's been going on for, I'll say, about 30 years. And it is stiff competition when they play in any sport. The set comes outside and Cosgrove goes cross court, but it goes out of bounds. 3-0 Cactus leads. It's just punched over by the Cobras, but right in front of Medina, the libero, who was unable to get there. And if you're joining us here for the first time on IBNSports.com, just to let you know, it's a rally point scoring. So everything is a point as that serve goes wide by Natasha Lucero. So it's 4-1. Peoria gets their first point. As Cosgrove goes back to serve now for the Panthers. But it's up to 25, got to win by 2. It's best out of 5, so got to win 3 out of 5. If it does go to a 5th game, then it's up to 15, but you still have to win by 2. So 4-2, Cactus leading over Peoria as Cosgrove, the senior, again for the Panthers, goes back to serve, puts it in play. It's popped up by Whitman, but blocked at the net. Good job by Ellie Salcedo and Bailey Nations. As Cosgrove serves again. Ooh, and into the net. That'll make it 5-3. Cactus leading here in this first game. And going back to serve for the Cobras will be number 10, Kaylee Rayner, who just checked into the game, the 5'5" junior for the Cobras, and she starts off with an ace. Making it 6-3. Once that ball crossed the tape, it just absolutely dipped. But that time, Medina's there to pop it up, and Nations with the hit. Goes off the block, but falls on the Cactus side of the court, making it 6-4. And that'll put Salcedo back to serve, the senior for the Panthers. Oh, nice serve, just drops. Punched over, but Cactus able to get it, and Nations wastes no time putting that down. Carly Beer, the libero for Cactus, had no chance in getting that, and that brings head coach Lindsey Walls off the bench to talk to her team. That makes it 6-5 now, and Salcedo will put the ball in play for the Panthers. It's punched over by Cactus, popped up by Crossgrove. Oh, the left-handed hit on the outside by May Gross, the sophomore. Ties the game up at 6 now. Salcedo will try and give the home team Panthers a lead. Is checking in for Kaylee Rayner. She's still in the game for Cactus. Peoria gets the point there. So Salcedo, their team leading 7-6, going on a little bit of a service run for the Panthers. Set goes right down the middle, just tipped over. Oh, and popped up by May Gross. Bailey Nations was there, but both diving at the ball. Tip goes down. It's all knotted up at 7 as Carly Beer checks out. Checking in is number 6, Chelsea Thompson. And set in the middle right to Taylor Blue. Unable to kill it. Just punched over by Rayner. Set goes outside the Nation. She tips it over, but no problem for Christina Whitman. Oh, blocked at the net was Michaela Jones, but it ricochets off to the Panther side of the court, and that'll give the Cobras an 8-7 lead and send the senior, Caitlin Miller, back to serve for the Cobras. And she goes short. Cosgrove pops it up. Set over. Ooh, great play right there at the net by Thompson to keep it going, and the hit is blocked and popped up, but it goes under the net by May Gross. So Cactus will get the point, and they lead 9-7. Miller serves again. Oh, nice pop-up by Crossgrove. Great defensive play there to keep it going. Set goes outside the Nation. She has a good approach. Oh, and she just slips it in the back line. And that'll make it 9-8. It's got to be one of the better names I think Craig Maynard and I have heard so far in this early volleyball season. Bailey Nations. You got to love it. That is an awesome name, and she put it down right there. Going back to serve will be number 13, Meg Gross for the Panthers. Go right to Carly Beer, who pops it up. They go outside. Cosgrove is able to dig the Whitman hit. Go outside to Whitman again. She winds up. Oh, and gets blocked at the net by Taylor Blue and Brittany Dobson, but unfortunately it bounces on the Peoria side of the net. Well, unfortunately for the Panthers, fortunate for the Cobras. Checking out will be Michaela Jones. Checking in will be number 8. Mallory Beauvais, the sophomore, who will be serving for the Cobras. Ooh. And that'll be a carry on number 13, Meg Gross there. Pass was a little too far at the net, didn't give Gross much room to set. So 11-8, Cobras lead. It's Beauvais with the serve. Gross gets a good set now. Nations just tips it. Ooh, almost hits the ground, but Cactus able to get it over. Jordan Crossgrove pops it up to Gross, goes outside the Nations. Ooh, off the block, and it comes back over. Well, both teams playing a little bumper car at the net, and it's popped up. Ooh, great defensive awareness by Crossgrove. Blocked at the net by Nations, and Carly Beer is unable to pop it up. Hits it off her own player, and finally Peoria gets the point. But what a little defensive battle there by both teams. It's not letting the ball drop. Some great plays made. And now Bailey Nations will go back to serve with her team trailing 11-9. Set goes to Whitman, who hits across court. Peoria able to get it over as Ellie Salcedo punches it over. Ooh, and it's blocked at the net. Oh, actually it never hit the block. It hit the net, so it'll be 4 hits on Cactus. One of those technical rules. They're only allowed 3 hits. They try to get it over in 4, but the officials caught it as Bailey Nation serves again with her team trailing 11-10. Oh, Nation's unable to dig it, and Jordan Crossgrove thought she called it and stopped on the ball. So 12-10, the Cactus Cobras lead the Peoria Panthers, as checking out will be Kaylee Rayner. Checking back in the libero, Carly Beer. And there's the ace right there for number 4, Christina Whitman, making it 13-10 as Whitman goes back to serve again for the Cobras. She gets it right to Crossgrove, who punches it up to Gross. Nations hits it from the back row, but no problem for Cactus. Ooh. And that'll be a double hit on Cactus, so a point for Peoria, 13-11. Oh, big hit cross court. May Gross pops it up. It hits the ceiling, but it's still playable, and it's just punched over by Brittany Dobson. They go outside, and it's tipped over long. Ooh, and unable to get it was the libero, Savannah Medina's a little bit out of position there. I'll make it 14-11 here in the first game. This match between Peoria and Cactus. Back serving number 9 will be the libero, Carly Beer. Beer gets it to Nations, who just gets it to Gross. Crossgrove with the hit from the outside. The block slows it down, so no problem on the dig for Cactus. Going back outside and a big hit. Big hit on the outside by number 11, Nicole Blanar, pardon me. Blanar gets the big hit. It was dug by Peoria, but it goes out of bounds. So now it's 15-11 as Beer serves again for the Cobras. Goes short, Medina pops it up to Gross. Gives it right back to Salcedo. Ooh, there was a dig there, but it goes to the Cactus bench. So a side-out point for the Panthers. Makes it 15-12 now. Is going back to serve will be the senior captain, Brittany Dobson. Oh, Cactus having a hard time. It looks like that block of Peoria is frustrating Cactus early on a little bit because they fit it into the net, not off the block, and could have been called for 4 hits multiple times in this first game. 15-13. Dobson gets it into play, and it's punched back over. Oh, and it just goes out. Bailey Nations is trying to get back, but it goes out. So 15-14. Brittany Dobson, the senior captain for the Panthers, going on a little bit of a service run here for her team. And that serve goes out. That's long by Dobson, but, well, it's 16-15, so Peoria right back in this game. Is going back to serve now will be the junior, Natasha Lucero. Gets it right to Nations. Oh, and the hit at the net goes off the block, slowed down. Ellie Salcedo gets the point. Side-out point, tied up at 16. Jordan Crossgrove, the senior, will go back to serve for the Panthers. All knotted up at 16 here in this first game. Like I said, up to 25, must win by 2. Set goes outside. Ooh, Cosgrove's right there for the dig. Ooh, big hit by Nations, but it's dug by Beer. Oh, Dobson unable to get over there. So make it 17-16 now. Cactus leads as Nicole Blanar will check out. Checking in number 10. Kaylee Rayner to serve for Cactus. She goes short, but it's popped up by Salcedo outside the Nations, and she hits it off the block of Michaela Jones and Caitlin Miller. Jones, a 5'8" junior, Miller, a 5'9" senior. So it's tied up at 17. Ellie Salcedo to serve now. Ooh, Beer with a good pop up there. Ooh, blocked at the net. Set outside, May Gross hits it over with the left hand. No problem for Carly Beer. Set goes outside. Oh, and it's tipped. But out of bounds, so it'll be Panther point. Christina Whitman, ball may have been a little too close. She wasn't able to fully swing on it. Tried to just punch it over, but it goes out of bounds now as Ellie Salcedo serves again with the Panthers leading 18-17. Dobson pops it up to Gross, goes outside. Nation winds up and puts it down right in front of Kaylee Rayner. They're in position, but looks like Nations maybe gave her a little bit of a change-up kill there. Just took a little bit off it. Salcedo serves again with the Panthers leading 19-17. Oh, blocked at the net again is Michaela Jones. And then with that block, head coach Lindsey Walls of Cactus will take a timeout. Both this Cactus and Peoria team, like I said, big rivalries here. Cactus Cactus's freshman and JV teams took the first 2 games, and the varsity's trying to complete the clean sweep on the road, especially against heated rival Peoria. And we're here in the, I guess, auxiliary gym here at Peoria High School. It's just a really good setup. The only thing is there's only bleachers on one side of the stands because they're replacing the floor in the main gym. But as long as the games can be played, it's all that matters. When I was talking to head coach Michelle Stoffi of Peoria, saying that it's been a little tough, but a little bit of bummer for the seniors, especially when they're going to have their senior night. But overall, they're going to get to play a season, and we know Peoria will be very competitive as Salcedo out of the timeout from Cactus serves it into the net, so that'll give the Cobras a side-out point, making it 20-18. Chelsea Thompson coming back in the game for Carly Beer, the libero, going back to serve number 15. Caitlin Miller for the Cobras goes to Crossgrove. Salcedo pops it up, and Nations will just bump it over. Natasha Lucero, the setter for Cactus, gets a good set outside, but it just comes to Nations, when able to get slowed down by the block. Cactus pops it up. Peoria blocks it at the net. Oh, well, it's a blocking match at the net. Finally, Gross sets it over. Great play there by Kaylee Rayner. Oh, and tipped over by Christina Whitman. That'll be a point for Cactus. Makes it 20-19 now. The Cobras within 1. As Miller will serve again for the Cobras. Set goes outside to Gross. The sophomore for the Panthers. He gets it over. Now Gross will hit it over again with her left hand and just finds a hole in the defense. Gross looked a little flustered there because she was a little too close to the net. She gets the point, makes it 21-19, and now the sophomore Gross will go back to serve for the Panthers. Oh, and it's in. Kayla Jones gets it in, just catches the back line. 21-20 now, Cactus within 1. Carly Beer checks back in, and coming in to serve also will be Mallory Beauvais, 5'5" sophomore for the Cobras. Gross sets it in the middle. Ooh, not getting all the hit was Taylor Blue, but, well, maybe mishitting it, threw Cactus off. 22-20. Peoria leads. It's now Bailey Nations, the senior captain, will go back to serve. She goes into the net, though. 22-21. And the big hitter, the sophomore, Christina Whitman, now goes back to serve for Cactus. Goes to Crossgrove, gets it up to Gross. Dobson with the hit. Dobson can't keep it in. She went all the way cross court, goes out. So now that knocks this first game up at 22. One of these teams, well, 3 points away from winning, but like I said, have to win by 2. Crossgrove pops it up to Gross, goes back to Crossgrove, who just punches it over. Beer digs it, just punches it over. Ooh, and that, blocked at the net, but then blocked again by Cactus. Chelsea Thompson blocks Taylor Blue. That makes it 23-22 Cobras. As Whitman goes back to serve. Oh no, Whitman gets the ace. Cosgrove called it out, and Whitman caught it just on the line. So now we have game point here. And we'll get a timeout by head coach Michelle Stoffi, trying to maybe ice Whitman a little bit on the service. Again, thanks for joining us here on IBNSports.com, coming to you from Peoria High School, where the Cobras are taking on the Panthers of Peoria, taking on Cactus. I'm Michael Caratanudo, joined by Craig Maynard here, who's giving you all the awesome shots of the game. As hear the home crowd trying to get Peoria back into it. It's 24-22. It is game point for Cactus. So Peoria would need a side out in the next 2 points to extend this game to 26. But if Christina Whitman has anything to say about it, she'll end it right here for the Cobras. Official blows the whistle, get it back in play. And there goes Whitman. Ooh, Cosgrove pops it up, and it comes into the stands. So 25-22. Cactus wins the first game. Well, 25-22, Cactus takes the first game at Peoria. Craig and I are going to step aside for a second. When we come back, we'll bring you second game action here from Peoria High School. You're watching IBNSports.com. All right, we're back here at Peoria High School. This big volleyball game between the Panthers and their rivals, the Cactus Cobras. Huge West Side rivalry like I was talking about. Over 30 years of rivalry between Cactus and Peoria. All right, so we'll get the starting lineups again for Cactus. We have number 3, Michaela Jones. Number 4, Christina Whitman. Number 5, Natasha Lucero. Number 6, Chelsea Thompson. Number 11, Nicole Blenar. Number 15, Caitlin Miller. Back to serve will be Natasha Lucero. Gross gets the set, goes outside to Crossgrove, hits it off the block of Michaela Jones. So I'll make it 1-0 Peoria. As Brittany Dobson goes back to serve, and on the court with Dobson, like I said, Bailey Nations, Meg Gross, Jordan Crossgrove, and the libero Savannah Medina. Set comes outside to Whitman. Well, Cactus gets a side out point. Going to the bench will be number 11, Nicole Blenar, and into serve, number 12, Carly Macy, a 5'5" junior. Nation sets it to Dobson. Crossgrove hits it over. Oh, nice dig on the court right there. It goes out of bounds, but what a phenomenal dig to keep the play going for Cactus by Michaela Jones. They hit it over, but it goes long. Now back to serve for Peoria, the senior Jordan Crossgrove, with her team leading 2-1. Oh, and Crossgrove was aiming for that back line. Ball just didn't drop in time, so now it's 2-2. Carly Beer, a 5'7" senior, will go back to serve, the libero for Cactus. Crossgrove pops it to Dobson, who serves it. Gross hits it over, but right to Beer. Oh, nice dig there by Dobson. Gross keeps it going, and Savannah Medina just hits it over. Oh, blocked at the net, but unable to get it back over was Peoria. That was Chelsea Thompson who put it down. Well, Carly Beer will go back to serve again with her team leading 3-2. Gross gets it over, cuts it down the net, but Cactus able to play it, and a back set to Beer. Hits it to Medina. Dobson goes outside the Nations with a big hit, and Carly Beer can't dig that. And try to play it like she hit it. Beer didn't think it hit the ground, but they're saying it did. So now Ellie Salcedo will go back to serve for Peoria. Game all tied up at 3. Ooh, the hit is off the block. Chelsea Thompson played the block. It stays in on the line. So 4-3 now, Cactus leading over Peoria. And checking in to serve will be number 8, Mallory Beauvais, the 5'5" sophomore. Goes off the net. Nations pops it up, and it's going to be a carry. She's a little frustrated with herself right there as Nations. Ball hit the net, and her hands were just in an awkward spot. So 5-3, Cactus leading now. Beauvais serves again. Nations pops it up. Dobson just hits it over. Set comes outside to Whitman. And big hit off the block. Whitman gets it down. Christina Whitman, the 5'8" sophomore. Showing why she's worthy of playing at the varsity level. Big hit there by Whitman. 6-3 now, Cobras lead as Beauvais serves. But into the net. Side out point for Peoria, make it 6-4. It's going back to service number 13, Meg Gross. Gross the lefty. Wow. She got that ball to drop the second it hit the net. Gets the ace. Drops it right in front of Carly Macy. Now Gross will go back to serve again with her team trailing 6-5. A little short that time into the top of the net, so 7-5 now. As a sophomore, Whitman will go back to serve for the Cactus Cobras. Oh, Whitman goes into the net now and a service error. That'll make it 7-6. Going back to serve one of the senior captains for Peoria, Bailey Nations. Blocked at the net, but Cactus able to keep it going. Just punched over into a big hole in the back corner by Chelsea Thompson. Great heads-up play by Thompson just to pop it over. So 8-6 now, Cactus leads as Thompson goes back to serve for the Cobras. Goes to Crossgrove. Gross with the set. Dobson just punches it over. The block was there, but nobody was just to the left of the block, and that's where Dobson taps it over. 8-7, Peoria trails. Savannah Medina, the junior libero, will check back in to serve for Peoria. Set goes in the middle, and it's blocked by Peoria, but goes out of bounds. Caitlin Miller, Cactus hit it right into the block. Goes out, so Cactus still up by 2, 9-7. Is checking back in as Natasha Lucero to serve for the Cobras. Goes to Medina. Gross sets it to Dobson, who hits it, and no problem for Carly Beer. Good set by Lucero. Ooh, and Peoria able to keep it alive. The set by Dobson too far forward. Jordan Crossgrove couldn't do much with it, puts it in the net, so 10-7 now. Cobras getting a little bit of breathing room. So Natasha Lucero puts the ball in play for Cactus. Dobson winds up, but goes out of bounds again. Second time she's tried to go cross court. It just goes wide. 11-7. Cactus leads as Lucero puts it in play. Gross sets Ucedo. Just pops it over, but oh! And Nicole Blunar tried to pop that up right as Christina Whitman was coming towards it. So that'll be a side-out point for Peoria. As Brittany Dobson serves for the Panthers, trailing 11-8. Nice dig by Medina. Gross goes cross court. Oh, they're going to say it was in. She just caught the line, makes it 11-9. Cactus leading Peoria as Brittany Dobson serves again. Set comes outside to Jones, and Jones goes long, trying to get that back corner again. So 11-10 now. Dobson has her team within 1 point of tying this game up. Again, they're just watching right now. Cactus took the first game 25-22. No problem for Medina there from Peoria. Dobson sets Cosgrove outside, winds up, it's blocked at the net, but popped up. Gross with the hit. Oh, great dig by Carly Beer. The libero is punched over, and Medina gets it to Dobson, goes outside to Crossgrove. No problem for Whitman popping that up for Cactus. Dobson Nation hits it from the back row, tries to go short. Nicole Blunar is right there. Oh, and it's still going. Great defense by Peoria, able to keep it going. Oh, and unable to tip it over the net. There was an opening. Caitlin Miller saw the opening, but just didn't put enough on it. So we are all knotted up at 11 after some great defensive play by Peoria right there at the net. As Dobson serves. Whitman pops it up, goes outside, and that is a big hit by Nicole Blunar, the 5'8" senior, making a 12-11 Cactus. So Blunar will check out. Checking in is Carly Macy, and she'll be serving for the Cobras. Gross gets it to Dobson. Back sets it to Nations. Nice hit by Nations, but Cactus able to punch it over. Medina pops it up to Nations. Gross will just hit it over. Oh, and into a dead spot. Carly Beer was probably thinking that Natasha Lucero was going to take that ball. So now it's all tied up at 12. And that'll send the senior Jordan Crossgrove back to serve for the Panthers. Lucero sets it. Ooh, big hit at the net. Oh, it's off the block and it's in. Caitlin Miller gets it in. The 13-12 Cobras lead as the senior libero Carly Beer will go back to serve for Cactus. She gets it to her counterpart, Savannah Medina. Medina just has to hit it over. Oh, big windup by Whitman on the outside, blocked at the net by Peoria. Great job by Gross. Goes outside to Nations, who just gets it over, but Beer's there this time. Lucero sets it. Oh, and cross court right there by Jones. Michaela Jones with the point. Makes it 14-12. Carly Beer continue to serve for Cactus. Cosgrove pops it out to Gross. Goes in the middle of Salcedo with a big hit. Right past the diving Carly Beer, so a side-out point. Salcedo gets it, and now she'll go back to serve for her team as Medina checks out, and checking in will be number 3, Taylor Blue for Peoria. Lucero sets it. Oh, blocked at the net. Great job by Peoria, by Blue. Gross hits it. Nice take by Lucero, just punched over by Jones. Nations winds up and hits it off the block. Oh, and Carly Beer looks like she may have got a piece of it as Carly Macy, a lot of Carlys on this team. Carly Macy for Cactus was diving for it, but it's all tied up at 14 now, and Salcedo will put the ball in play for the Panthers. Lucero sets it. Big hit by Jones. And they're going to say into the net by Peoria, so it'll be Cactus point. Michaela Jones, the 5'8" junior for the Cobras. Coach Lindsay Walls has to be happy with Jones's play. She takes a seat now. Coming in to serve for Cactus will be Mallory Beauvais. Cosgrove sets it to Nations off the block, slows it down. Beer able to pop it up. Oh, and blocked at the net was Lucero on the outside by Nations. So that'll be a side-out point for Peoria. It's going back to serve now will be the sophomore, May Gross. If I recall right, Gross did play on the team last year as a freshman. I'll have to look that up in between games, but I think she was a freshman that played on varsity. Cactus set goes too far out. Gross gives it back to Nations as she winds up. Ooh, hits it off the block, but no problem for Whitman to pop it up. And they go right back to Whitman, but she hits it into the net. So that'll make it 16-15. Peoria leading as Meg Gross goes back to serve. Gross with the half jump serve. Whitman sets it over to Lucero, just punches it over. Gross goes outside to Nations, who winds up, goes off the block, and then off of Carly Beauvais, or Mallory Beauvais, pardon me, number 8, Mallory Beauvais for Cactus. 17-15 now. Peoria takes the lead, and Coach Lindsay Walls decides to take a timeout for Cactus. She thinks her team may have been out of position a few times. Peoria going on a little bit of a run. Again with Craig Maynard, who's giving you the awesome shots of this game by Michael Caratanudo. We're out at Peoria High School to see the Panthers take on their rivals, the Cactus Cobras. Cactus took the first game 25-22 in a hard-fought battle, and this one is like that again. Cactus had a lead, and now Peoria's gone on a little bit of a run, and both teams have been able to go on runs when they've been serving. So again, Cactus just wants to keep this close. That's why head coach Walls took the timeout. Michelle Stoffi's talking to her team's got to be happy with the way her team's battled back in the second game. They said they trail this match 1-0. Cactus won the first one 25-22 as we get back to action now. And serving will be the sophomore, Meg Gross for Peoria. Oh, and unable to dig it was Mallory Beauvais. Oh, no, check that. Pardon me. That's Carly Macy. Carly Macy unable to dig it. Gross will serve again with her team leading 18-15. They go to Carly Beer, who gets it up. Set to Thompson, who just hits it over. They go to Dobson, who hits it over. Oh, great dig. Great job by the defense of Cactus trying to keep it going. But they hit it into the stands. The first by Christina Whitman. First dig by Christina Whitman, and then Chelsea Thompson followed her and tried to keep it going, but couldn't. So 19-15 now. Peoria extends a 4-point lead. This Meg Gross will serve for the Panthers. Set goes outside to Whitman. The block of Nations slows it down. They get it back to Nations, but she just has to hit it over. Comes back to her again. They pop it into the back corner, and nobody is there as Christina Whitman's trying to run it down. Peoria extends their lead to 5 over Cactus, 20-15. Well, you wouldn't expect anything less than a back and forth between these two rivals. Checking back into the game will be Kaylee Rayner for number 12, Carly Macy. Gross serves for Peoria. Set goes to Thompson, who just hits it over, but they're going to say Thompson carried it. As Chelsea Thompson looks like she may have caught the ball and thrown a little bit instead of just hitting it over. They call the carry there, makes it 21-15. Meg Gross has gone on a huge service run for the Panthers. Carly Beer gets it, but unable to control it, and it's put down at the net by Taylor Blue. The defensive Cactus didn't have a chance, and now Coach Walls will take another timeout with her team trailing 22-15, and the Peoria crowd getting more and more into it, trying to will their team back into this game. Well, if you're Coach Michelle Stoffi for Peoria, you have to be happy with the way your team's playing, but telling them to stay on their toes, because 3 points to close it out. They want to close Cactus out fast if they can. They don't want the Cobras to be hanging around. It's one thing, volleyball with the momentum can change so quick, but you get somebody on a service run and the defense starts responding more, and all of a sudden a tied game is now a 7-point lead for Peoria. That's a sophomore, May Gross, will go back to serve for the Panthers. Oh, and unable to control that was Christina Whitman. Looks like her and Carly Beer, no one called it, so 23-15. See where Gross goes this time with her team leading 23-15. Oh, and she gets the ace. That ball is just dropping so fast after it crosses the net. Kaylee Rayner was in position, the junior for Cactus, but unable to pop it up. So game point now, 24-15, Peoria leading. Gross serves for the game. It's popped up and over and just punched down by Taylor Blue. So 25-15. Peoria takes the second game of this match. Oh, we're all knotted up at one, and like I said, you wouldn't expect anything less from two rival schools. 25-15, the final of the second game. Craig and I are going to step aside. We'll be back with more volleyball action here on IBNSports.com. Peoria High School here on IBNSports.com as we are bringing you volleyball action between the Peoria Panthers and the Cactus Cobras. I'm Michael Caratino, joined with Craig Maynard, bringing you all the awesome shots of this game. Well, it's tied up at 1 right now. Cactus took the first game 25-22. Peoria took the second game 25-15, so now we go to the third. And we'll see who takes this game. Like I said, I wouldn't expect anything less of these teams. These two rivals going back and forth like this. All right, so on the floor for Peoria, we have number 9, Bailey Nations, number 10, Brittany Dobson, who's going back to serve, number 8, Jordan Crossgrove, number 4, Savannah Medina, number 13, May Gross, and number 14, Ellie Salcedo. Oh, Gross with the hit and drops it right in front of Michaela Jones of Cactus. Also on the floor with Jones is Christina Whitman, number 4, Natasha Lucero, number 5, number 11, Nicole Blanar. Ooh, it's a set. I'm going to say into the net, Cactus points. Number 15, Caitlin Miller, and the liberos, number 9, Carly Beer, as Natasha Lucero goes back to serve now for Cactus. Game tied at 1. Dobson sets it, Crossgrove goes cross court. Beer is there, and it's hit over by Whitman. Crossgrove winds up with the big hit. Jones able to block it at the net, though. Oh, Salcedo, well, hits it into the block. Now Meg Gross with the left hand gets blocked again and hits it over again. But Carly Beer stayed disciplined, stayed in position, and was able to get it. Jones hits it over, but great defense there by Nations. And Crossgrove saves it. Peoria able to keep it going. Oh, and right at the last second, Caitlin Miller. Looks like Caitlin Miller told Christina Whitman to get it, but Whitman thought Miller was going to take it. So 2-1 Peoria leads now as Jordan Crossgrove goes back to serve for the Panthers. Oh, big hit on the outside, just goes out of bounds. Nicole Blanar. That'll make it 3-1 Peoria as Jordan Crossgrove now tries to go on a little bit of a service run of her own. Whitman, they go outside to Jones with the big hit blocked at the net by Salcedo. Nations gets it to Dobson, goes to Gross. Oh, the ball was out, and slamming her hand on the court was Christina Whitman. Frustration because she dove and didn't realize that she was off the court when she hit the ball. So that'll be Peoria point, making it 4-1 early on here in this third game. It's Jordan Crossgrove, the senior, will serve for the Panthers. Ooh, and she hits it into the top tape of the net. And that'll make it 4-2 as checking out for Cactus is Nicole Blanar, and checking in number 10, Kaylee Rayner, the 5'5" junior, will go back to serve for Cactus. Crossgrove barely gets her, pops it up. Oh, great shot by Medina to keep it going, and Dobson, hits it over, but ball hits the ceiling and it goes out. Brittany Dobson a little far off the court, one of the senior captains for the Panthers. Dobson serves Nations with the big hit. She gets blocked at the net. Oh, no, they're going to say it was in. Nations got blocked and it rolled down the net. I thought it may have went out, but it stayed in. So now we're all tied up at 4 as Kaylee Rayner goes back to serve again for the Cobras. It's it right to Savannah Medina, the libero. Gross with the hit, but no problem for Rayner. Go outside to Whitman. Oh, yep, it will be a carry on Cactus. Caitlin Miller. So that'll make it 5-4 Peoria as Medina checks out and Taylor Blue checks in for Peoria. Going back to serve will be number 14, Ellie Salcedo. Go outside to Whitman again. Salcedo's there, no problem. Dobson sets it, goes outside to Nations, who winds up and hits it right into the block. But Salcedo's there for the dig and just punched over by Taylor Blue. She sets it over, but way past the back line. And that'll tie this game up at 5. And that'll send the libero back to serve, Carly Beer. As Caitlin Miller checks out of the game. And checking back in is Kaylee Rayner. He's set to Nations. Just goes over, no problem for Whitman. Lucero gives it. Oh, it's blocked at the net, but able to go over by Rayner. Now Gross for Peoria hits it over. And they go outside to Jones, goes cross court. And they are going to call a net violation on Peoria, so it'll be Cactus point. And as the games have gone on, the points have gotten longer and longer. There's no shortage of defense by these two, especially at the net. Both teams' blocks doing a very good job so far tonight as Beer gets the ball back in play for the Cobras. Set over by Dobson, but Beer's able to cover the ground. Wow, hit from about mid-court by Kaylee Rayner. And Taylor Blue was there to block it. She blocked it, but it ricocheted to the Peoria side of the net. Nobody was there. 7-5, Cobras lead. As the senior Beer gets ready to serve again. Nations just sets it over. Whitman's right there and blocked at the net by Taylor Blue. Oh, nope, they're going to call over the net on Taylor, actually. So it's 8-5 now as Carly Beer will serve again. The libero senior for Cactus. Nations winds up, goes off the block, and that threw Carly Beer off a little bit. For those of you, you can see the player in the different color jersey for Cactus instead of, she's wearing all light blue, is Carly Beer. Libero means free in Italian, so that's a free player. Ooh, as the serve goes long by May Gross. That means free, so it's a free player. They're free to play pretty much all the back row. They can serve, they can play the back, they just can't play the front row. So for those of you not familiar with volleyball, basically it's going to be one of your better defensive players. Probably your best defensive player because they're pretty much responsible for covering a lot of the back line, as you've seen in action tonight. As Mallory Beauvais serves for Cactus, Cosgrove just hits it over. And they said, ooh, big hit, but blocked at the net by Blue. They go outside to Jones, or Whitman, check that off the block and goes out. And into the game also for Cactus failed to mention, number 13, Hannah Kingsby. As going back to serve for the Cobras is Mallory Beauvais, with her team leading 10-6. Big hit cross court. Gross is able to get there. Salcedo keeps it going, and Blue hits it over, but Cactus can't get it over. Goes into the net. So Peoria stops the bleeding there a little bit, making it 10-7. As a senior captain for the Panthers, one of the senior captains, Bailey Nation, serves for Peoria. Cross court. And they're going to say it was in. A nice cross court hit by Whitman. Checking out for Cactus is Kaylee Rayner. Going back to serve is number 4, Christina Whitman. And checking in, back in is Nicole Blenar. Crossgrove just punches it over. Here gets it, the set goes outside to Blenar. It's blocked at the net by Blue, and that stays in. Great job by Taylor. Blue timed her jump perfectly. And Blue will check out after that. And the junior libero for Peoria will check back in, Savannah Medina. As Medina gets it over. Oh, and that's a big hit. Yes, it did go out. That was Hannah Kingsby. Raised up high there, just unable to keep the ball in. So 11-9 now. Cactus leads Peoria as Medina will serve again for the Panthers, who drops it in front of Beer. Just set over. Oh. I'm going to say that she extended over the net, I guess, too far. Is that call? So, Cactus did. So it's 11-10 now as Medina will serve again for the Panthers. Thompson punches it over. Gross gets it up, and Salcedo. Well, Salcedo gets it over on the 4th hit. She tried to disguise it well. So 12-10 now, Cobras lead. As Carly Beer will check out. Checking in number 15, Caitlin Miller. Going back to serve, number 13, Hannah Kingsby, the 5'9" junior for the Cobras. Oh, great job by the Salcedo right there just to get that ball over, and the defense to keep it going. Dobson serves it, sets it over to Kingsby. Crossgrove with the hit, gets blocked. Right into the dead spot in between, well, in the triangle of 3 players that went down. So 13-10, Cactus leads as Hannah Kingsby will try to extend the lead more for the Cobras. Crossgrove able to get it over. They go outside to Blenar, who just sets it over. The block was there. Now Gross just sets it over. Kingsby able to keep it going. They go to Thompson, goes cross court. A little too high up on Gross's arm. It hits her and goes out of bounds. So 14-10 now. Cobras lead. Cactus took the first game 25-22. Peoria took the second game 25-15. And now the Cobras lead in this third game so far 14-10 as Kingsby goes into the net. It'll be a side out point for Peoria, making it 14-11. Brittany Dobson goes back to serve now for the Panthers. Carly Beer back in the game for Cactus. Gets that. Thompson hits it. Great dig by Medina, but it just goes over. Cosgrove able to play it, and nobody's behind Salcedo to help her out. So 15-11 now. Cactus leads, and well, Coach Michelle Stothy has seen enough. She takes her first time out. Trailing 15-11. Doesn't want the game to get too much further out. Needs her team to get a side out here, maybe go on a little bit of a run. Well, for Cactus head coach Lindsay Walls, she's got to be a little bit more happy with her team's placement this game. Defensively, they've been getting to a lot more balls than they did in the second game. Maybe not so much getting to, but just been in better position to dig those. So again, 15-11 the score here in the third game. Cactus, the match is tied up at 1. Cactus won the first one 25-22. Peoria rallied back and took the second one 25-15. Thank you again for joining us here on IBNSports.com. I'm Michael Caratenuto coming to you from Peoria High School. Craig Maynard giving you the great shots of this game. As both teams come on the court now out of timeout, and going back to serve will be number 5, Natasha Lucero, the junior for the Cobras. Well, they're going to call a carry on Cactus. So, well, there it goes, 15-12. And now Jordan Crossgrove, the senior, will go back to serve. Beer pops it up to the net to Lucero as she sets Miller, and Miller just taps it over the block of Nations and Gross. That'll make it 16-12. Cactus leads. As Carly Macy checks out, and checking in will be Kaylee Rayner to serve for Cactus. Cobras lead 16-12. Dobson goes outside. Nations takes a big swing, and Carly Beer's able to somehow pop it up. Wow, they go back outside to Nations again with the big swing, and Beer punches it over again. What great defense by Beer and Cactus. Also, Kaylee Rayner getting in on the defensive play there. And Cactus finally gets the point. Two big hits by Nations, able to get dug and just somehow punched back over by Cactus. Great job by the Cactus defense. That'll make Coach Walls very happy. So they lead 17-12 now as Rayner goes back to serve. They set Gross. Gross low, gets blocked. Salcedo's there, but Salcedo pops it up, and it's blocked by Cactus, and they get the point again because of the play at the net. 18-12 now as Rayner serves. Well, Gross was way past that red marker. You can see the red and white. You have to hit it on. The ball's got to cross on that side of the net, on the inside of that, so it can't go on the outside. As Medina pops it up, Dobson, well, just tips it back because Medina unable to control the pass for Peoria. Now Cactus gets their biggest lead of the game, 20-12. Coach Stoffi, well, this one might be out of reach, but coaching for the next game, looks like your team's just getting a little bit out of position. But Bailey Nations, wow, two huge hits by Nations, and Cactus's defense doing a phenomenal job of digging at Carly Beer the first time, along with Kaylee Rayner. She's doing a great job, and Cactus works to get the point. Well, they lead by 8. And when they take timeouts, timeouts are a minute long. Obviously, you can see you don't have to take the whole minute. Cactus already back on the court. Well, now Peoria comes back on the court as the Peoria crowd tries to fire him up, saying, "Let's go Panthers." But Kaylee Rayner will serve for the Cobras. Much better pass by Medina there to Dobson. Goes outside to Nation, who winds up and gets blocked at the net by Michaela Jones. Michaela Jones timed her jump perfectly, and Nations just hit it right into the block, and it bounced right back down on the Peoria side of the net. So 21-12 now. Cactus 4 points away from taking this third game as Rayner serves. Nations with a big hit again, and Beer able to get it to Lucero, over to Whitman. And Cosgrove will just hit it deep. As Rayner pops it up, go outside to Whitman, and just taps it, but Dobson's right there. Oh, and what a heads-up play by the sophomore, Meg Gross. Thought about going outside to set Nations, but the block may have been there, and she just taps it over into the deep left corner. Gets the point, so 21-13 now as Ellie Salcedo goes back to serve for the Panthers. Blue blocks it at the net. Blue with the hit, but goes right to Beer. They go outside to Whitman, who winds up and gets blocked at the net by Gross. Dobson's going to go outside and set Nations, who winds up and puts it right in between Whitman and Rayner for the point. Oh, they're only down by a touchdown now, 21-14. Peoria trailing Cactus as Salcedo will try and go on another service run for the Panthers. Beer pops that up to Lucero, outside to Whitman with the big hit. Oh, well, everybody missed it, luckily for Peoria, because Whitman went long. And Whitman on that outside, if she gets that set from Lucero, can take an approach. She is a nightmare to stop outside. 21-15 as Salcedo serves again for Peoria. They go to Whitman. Lucero goes back to Jones, but it's blocked at the net. Bureau go out to Whitman, who just hits it over. And looks like they're going to go outside to Nations, who approaches and just sets it over. Miller pops it up for the Cobras. Dobson goes to Gross with the left hand. Gets it off the net, but No problem again for the Cactus defense. Oh, great play by Jordan Crossgrove, trying to help out Nations, but just couldn't keep it in. So that makes it 22-15. As Nicole Blenard sits down, and Carly Beer, the senior libero, will serve for the Cobras. No problem for Crossgrove. They go outside to Nations. Her approach with the big hit, but it's blocked at the net, but it goes out of bounds. Great block by Hannah Kingsby and Michaela Jones, but they weren't able to keep it in. So 22-16 now. May Gross going back to serve for the Panthers with their half jump serve. Oh, no problem for Beer. Goes down to her knees to pop that up. Whitman just pops it over. Salcedo goes deep to Beer. They get it to Lucero. Goes back to Jones, off the block and out of bounds. Nations was at the net to block it along with Blue. But Michaela Jones gets it, so it makes it 23-16. Cactus leads Peoria as Lucero and Jones go and sit down, and Mallory Beauvais checks back in along with Kaylee Rayner. Beauvais, oh, and the cut down the net by Bailey Nations makes it 23-17. And now Nations will go back to serve, see if she can keep her team in this third game. Just punched over by Beer, no problem for Gross. Gets it to Dobson, who serves Blue. Gets blocked at the net by Kingsby, but it just slowed it down enough and drops behind Kingsby. 23-18. Peoria trying to creep back in this game. Oh, the set to Jones, and it's blocked at the, or Whitman is blocked at the net, but it's been the theme this game for Peoria, this third game. They've had a lot of blocks, but they just fall on their side of the net. The 24-18 game point as Whitman goes back to serve, and that'll be an... Oh, Crossgrove was frustrated as Salcedo went to get the ball. So not an ace for Whitman, but 25-18. Cactus takes the third game. So Cactus up 2-1. Cactus took the first 25-22. Peoria took the second 25-15. And now Cactus takes the third 25-18. You're watching IBNSports.com. Volleyball here at Peoria High School. So Craig and I are going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have fourth game action from Peoria High School. We are back at Peoria High School for the fourth game of this match. Cactus leading 2-1. If Cactus could win here, they'd close it out. Cactus took the first one 25-22. Peoria battled back to the second one 25-15, and then Cactus takes the third one 25-18. I'm Michael Caratsanudo along with Craig Maynard here at Peoria High School as Natasha Lucero serves for Cactus. Get this third game started. Oh, big hit at the net by Caitlin Miller. For Cactus makes it 1-0. So besides Lucero and Caitlin Miller, Carly Beers on the court for Cactus. Christina Whitman, Michaela Jones, and Nicole Blenard are on the court for Cactus. And that is out, so we'll make it 1-1 as Brittany Dobson goes back to serve for Peoria. Savannah Medina is the libero on the court. Bailey Nations, Jordan Crossgrove, and Meg Gross are on the court as well with Ellie Salcedo for Peoria. Well, it's blocked at the net, but it goes in. Again, Cactus getting that roll. So 2-1. Cactus leads early on in this fourth game. Ooh, Crossgrove goes cross court, and Jones is unable to control that. So it makes it 2-2 now. Just going back to serve will be Jordan Crossgrove. No problem for Beer. Gets it over to Lucero. Goes to Jones. Jones cuts across court, but Medina's there to dig it. And Bailey Nations helps pop it up and punched over by Brittany Dobson. Oh, and that was hit by Kaylee Rayner from the line, from the back row, but she goes long. So 3-2 now, Peoria leads. And she puts it into the net, does Cosgrove, so Should be 3-3 on the scoreboard as Beer serves for Cactus. Nations with the big hit. Oh, and she catches the back line from the outside. So it should be 4-3 right now. It should be 4-3. Somebody's got to get the attention of the officials because it's 4-3. Peoria is leading. Nations just hits it over. Great job by Whitman to dig that and to get it over. Blue hits it. Oh, and it's popped up by Dobson, and now Blue will hit it again. It goes out of bounds. So this game should be tied up at 4. And going back to serve will be number 8, Mallory Beauvais for Cactus, and that goes long. (6-3) now. As Meg Gross goes back to serve for Peoria. See, 5-4, they fixed the score. 5-4 is the score, Peoria leading. Oh, big hit by Whitman on the outside. And she got to take that approach. Whitman puts it down. It's been one great hitting matchup between Whitman and Jones as Nicole Blenard checks back in for Cactus, and now Christina Whitman goes back to serve for Cactus. Dobson, oh, they're gonna say into the net. So that'll make it 6-5 now. Cactus leads Peoria. Again, Cactus leading 2-1. They took games 1 and 3, 25-22, 25-18. Peoria took game 2, 25-15. So Whitman serves again. Nations winds up. Ooh, and what a play there. By Beauvais, but Cactus unable to control it. It goes out of bounds from Peoria point. And now we're all knotted up at 6. Gross goes outside to Crossgrove, winds up off the block. Good job by Kingsby. Go outside to Blenard, and Blenard hits it into the blocker. The net, but comes right back down on the Cactus side. So 7-6, Peoria leading as a senior captain, Bailey Nations, goes back to serve for the Panthers. Beer pops it up. Beauvais gets it outside to Blenard, but Blenard, well, hits it into the net and then hits it again. So that'll be 4 hits. 8-6, Peoria leads. Nations serving for the Panthers. Beauvais goes back to Thompson. He puts it down, but it's punched over into a dead spot right in front of Carly Beer. Good job by Peoria there to find that dead spot. 9-6 they lead. Looks like Coach Wall's a little frustrated with her team play right there. Takes a timeout as Peoria leads 9-6 here in the third game. And Taylor Blue, the sophomore for Peoria, having a good game at the net. Yes, Meg Gross, I was right earlier. Meg Gross, a sophomore, number 13 for Peoria. She did play last year as a freshman on varsity, so obviously a lot of talent there. And for another freshman that's on varsity is Michaela Ellis, who Coach Stoffi was telling me about, said that her talent level is just on the borderline. Playing down at JV probably wouldn't have done good. She's seen a little bit of playing time this year, but you know, she is the 12th player on the bench. But as a freshman, even in practice, to get that experience with the varsity team, and I'm sure as the season goes on, she'll probably get some more playing time from what just seeing how Coach Stoffi was talking about her talent level. But a freshman playing on varsity, well, as the hit there goes off the dig and out of bounds, so Cactus gets the point out of the timeout. So whatever Coach Walls said to them during the timeout worked well right there for them, for Cactus. As Kingsby will serve for the Cobras. Gross sets it. Dobson punches it over. The defense able just to get there. Nice up by Gross. Beauvais pops it up to Blenard. Oh, great dig by Nations to get it over. It's blocked, and Dobson keeps it going. It's going to be blocked at the net by Blue. Great job by Taylor Blue to keep it going. Now they go outside to Crossgrove, who just taps it over the block. But Thompson's able to get there for Cactus. Go outside to Crossgrove again, and winds up, and hits it into the net. It's got to be frustrating for players when all that hard work. Those great plays on defense, and hit it into the net. So, well, now Cactus coming back. They trail 9-8 as Hannah Kingsby serves for the Cobras. Goes outside to Crossgrove, winds up. No problem there for Whitman. Big hit by Thompson. Blue with the hit. Ooh, oh, great job by the defense there. Beauvais helping out and just punched into the net. Hannah Kingsby hit it into the ceiling, and Beauvais was able to pop it forward. The Cactus, unfortunately for them, pushed it into the net. So 10-8. Peoria leads as the libero, Savannah Medina, will go back to serve for Peoria. Oh, gets it off the net. Oh, that counts. Remember, when it goes, if it hits the net and goes over, used to not count, but with the change of the rules, like I said, rally point scoring, so everything's a point. Play up to 25, the libero. A lot of change of the rules to volleyball, but it's made it definitely a much faster paced game for people to watch. Set goes outside to Blenard, and Nations was telling Medina to go. Medina looks like she just couldn't slide over to it. Natasha, Chelsea Thompson will check out. Natasha Lucero will check back in and serve. Gross pops it up. Dobson just punches it over. Oh, and a collision between Beer and Lucero. Cactus able to get it over. They go cross court to Crossgrove, who just tips it over. Lucero goes outside to Blenard. The big hit blocked at the net by Salcedo, but she can't keep it in. So it goes out. 11-10 now. Peoria leading Cactus. It's Natasha Lucero serves for the Cobras. Dobson just hits it over to Beer. Lucero goes outside to Set Jones. It's blocked at the net. Oh, and punched over by Peoria. Oh, they're going to say a net violation on Peoria. On Savannah Medina, or it's on Medina. So Lucero serve again with the game tied up at 11. Set goes outside to Dobson. He just sets it over to the corner. Carly Beer with a diving save to keep it going, and finally punched over by Kaylin Miller. What a phenomenal play by Beer. Oh, and the dig again, but it will be 4 hits. Wow, phenomenal dig by Beer, and another great dig by Michaela Jones. But that'll give Peoria a 12-11 lead as Brittany Dobson goes back to serve, the senior captain for the Panthers. One of the senior captains. Her and Bailey Nations both. As Jones goes cross court, and that's dug by Nations. Go outside to Crossgrove with the hit. Oh, and Christina Whitman, pardon me, unable to get to that. So now Peoria takes a 2-point lead, 13-11. Dobson serves again for the Panthers. Jones pops it up to Lucero, gives it right back to her on the bump set. Blocked at the net by May Gross and sent back in this time on the Cactus side of the court. 14-11 now. Peoria leads. As Brittany Dobson serves for the Panthers. They're going to say, well, another violation on Cactus. 15-11. Dobson going on a nice service run now. As you can see, Bailey Nations and Savannah Medina very excited about this run. Oh, blocked at the net again by Crossgrove. Jones hits it, and it's blocked at the net by Salcedo, and it goes out of bounds. So the block at the net. When they had a chance to get set, you listen to the crowd. They'll cheer on Peoria as they come off with the block at the net by Peoria. Taylor Blue has been a huge part of that. Jordan Crossgrove that time, both of them 2 straight blocks, so a 5-point lead here in this third game, 16-11. Thanks for checking Arizona High School Volleyball out here on IBNSports.com. I'm Michael Caratenuto here at Peoria High School. Craig Maynard giving you the awesome shots of this game. Cactus took the first game 25-22. Peoria battled back to take the second 25-15. And Cactus, well, cruised away in the second game 25-18. As they lead 2-1 now. But Peoria leading this fourth game 16-11. So we could be seeing a fifth game if Brittany Dobson keeps this service run up for the Panthers. Oh. And now we have a rotation infraction by Cactus. So that'll give a point to Peoria, making it 17-11. As Dobson gets the ball back in play. Oh, nice serve by Dobson, but popped up by Whitman. And Jones hits that hard. Oh, great hustle by Nations to save Medina, who was going out. And Peoria pops it over. What phenomenal hustle by Bailey Nations. Oh, and it's what a hit by Jones, though, for Cactus. Brittany Dobson tried to dig it, but just hit it into the net. So that'll make it now 18-12. Just checking into the game for Cactus is Kaylee Rayner, the 5'5" junior, to serve for the Cobras. Oh, she hits it into the top of the net, so that'll make it 19-12. As Jordan Crossgrove will go back to serve for Peoria. Lucero sets it outside to Whitman. Wow, what a big hit by Whitman, but it was dug by Peoria. And Bailey Nations with the hit off the block of Michaela Jones. Goes down on the Cactus side, so 20-12 now. Peoria just 5 points away from taking this fourth game. As Jordan Cosgrove goes to serve again. Oh, nice pop up there by Rayner. Big hit by Jones. Jones sets Miller, and Miller gets it in. Looks like she didn't get a lot on that. That'll make it 20-13 as Miller checks out. And checking back in for Cactus will be Hannah Kingsby, going back to serve the senior libero, Carly Beer. Oh, big hit by Nation. Spear digs it, hits the ceiling, but it's still playable. Oh, and a big hit by Christina Whitman, but it goes out, so that'll make it 21-13 as Ellie Salcedo, the senior for Peoria, goes back to serve. Lucero sets it to Jones, who just tips it over the block, but Gross is there. Ooh, Crossgrove getting over late, and Dobson helps it over. Lucero sets it right in the middle, and it's blocked at the net by Peoria, but Hannah Kingsby put enough on that. It comes down on the Peoria side of the net. So 21-14, Peoria leading Cactus. As Mallory Beauvais checks in to serve. Michaela Jones and Natasha Lucero sitting down for Cactus. As Nations hits it off the block, and it gets deflected into the stands. So that'll make it 22-14. And going back to serve will be the sophomore Meg Gross. Three points away from taking this fourth game is Peoria. Set goes outside to Whitman. Big hit cross court, and that goes in. Cosgrove called it out. Nobody was there anyway, and what a hit by Whitman, who will now go back to serve, making it 22-15. Nicole Blenard checks back into the game. Checking out will be Kaylee Rayner. So this Whitman goes back to serve, and Christina Whitman hits it into the net. So that'll make it 23-15 as the other senior captain, Bailey Nations, now goes back to serve for Peoria. Set, ooh, and what a big hit by Thompson. Chelsea Thompson on the outside. And now going back to serve, checking in will be Hannah Kingsby. It's 23-16. Peoria leading Cactus. Kingsby serving for Cactus. Gross sets it to Dobson. He just punches it over the block. And you have to think that Nicole Blenard and Kaylin Miller would know that Dobson hasn't really wound up and hit it big, and they're yet still trying to block it. She's tapped it over every time. 24-16, though, as Savannah Medina will check back in to serve for the game. Kayla pops it up, goes outside to Blenar, who hits it. Oh, popped up by Nations and popped up by Medina. Nations hits it over. What an unbelievable play by Nations just to keep that play going. Savannah Medina gets it to Gross. They go outside to Crossgrove with the hit. The diving Carly Beer. Her defense has been unbelievable tonight. The libero for Cactus. It's hit over. Oh, and what a dig by Medina. For Peoria, Michaela keeps it going into the net. Lucero plays it, and it'll be punched over by who else? Carly Beer. Go to Salcedo, and unable to control that was number 8, Mallory Beauvais, and that'll give Peoria the 4th game, 25-16. So we are all tied up at 2. We're going to game 5. Like I said, it'll be up, well, game 5 will be played up to 15. So Craig and I are going to step aside for a minute here on IBNSports.com. When we get back, we'll have 5th game action. We are back at Peoria High School for this rivalry volleyball matchup between the Cactus Cobras and the Peoria Panthers. Well, this match is knotted up at 2 games apiece. Cactus took game 1 and game 3. They took game 1 25-22, game 3 25-18. Peoria took game 2 25-15, and game 4 25-16. So this game 5 will be up to 15. Still have to win by 2. Cactus will serve, and serving will be number 8, Mallory Beauvais, a 5'5" sophomore. Get to the starters on the court after this. Ooh, and a big hit at the net by Chelsea Thompson, but she hits it into the net, so 1-0 Peoria. So Beauvais and Thompson on the court for Cactus, along with Carly Beer, Christina Whitman, Nicole Blenar, and Mallory Beauvais. For Peoria, Brittany Dobson serving, her team leading 2-0. So Dobson, Bailey Nations, Meg Gross, Savannah Medina, and Jordan Crossgrove. Oh, Nations couldn't handle that anyway, but it was into the net. So I'll make it 2-1. Peoria leading Cactus is going back to serve will be Kaylee Rayner. And Cosgrove just punches it over for Peoria. Outside to Whitman with the big hit, but the block slows it down. Nation's able to pop it up. Gross hits it over. Oh, a nice dig right there by Mallory Beauvais. Whitman tries to go down the line, and she does. She drops it in front of a diving Savannah Medina, who got, well, her hand on it. That'll tie this 5th game up at 2. As Kaylee Rayner goes back to serve again for the Cobras. Gross gets it to Dobson, goes outside to Crossgrove, cross court, but no problem for Carly Beer. And they're going to call a net violation on Cactus this time. A rotation violation on Cactus. Coach Walls wants to know who's it on, so that makes it 4-2. Obviously, everybody knows every point matters, but in a game up to 15, it's tough to get a rotation violation called on you. Crossgrove serves again. They go outside to Whitman, who winds up. Brittany Dobson was there, but just try to get a hand out and just punches it across the court. What a big hit by Christina Whitman. Sophomore, the 5'8" sophomore. So we're going to hear from Whitman for quite a while here at Cactus High School. As Carly Beer goes back to serve with the Cobras trailing 4-3. Oh, it's blocked over, and Savannah Medina started to come up a little quick there. So all tied up at 4 now as the senior libero for Cactus, Carly Beer, will go back to serve. Set goes outside the Nation. She winds up, ooh, and just drills it off of Carly Beer's hands. It goes flying past the back line after Beer hit it. So 5-4 now, Peoria leads. As Ellie Salcedo will go back to serve, and Salcedo's had some pretty big service runs this match for the Panthers. Well, that one won't do it there because she goes long and out of bounds over Carly Beer's head. So we're all tied up at 5. as Chelsea Thompson checks out and Natasha Lucero checks in to serve. Also checking out Mallory Beauvais as Michaela Jones checks back in. Ooh, Crossgrove pops it up for Peoria, just set over. Ooh, great dig right there by Kingsby. Gross with the hit, goes down the line, but popped up by Cactus. Sarah goes outside to Whitman with the hit. Oh, and Whitman didn't put a lot on that, but took just enough off to drop it in front of Salcedo and Crossgrove. So 6-5 now, Cactus leading this 5th game. Natasha Lucero back to serve for the Cobras. Nations winds up, ooh, just tips it over, but Whitman right there for Cactus. And it's into the net by Hannah Kingsby. That's all tied up at 6 now as Meg Gross goes back to serve. The sophomore who played all last year, a freshman year on varsity as well. And Gross is going to go outside the Nations with the big hit. Oh, but Carly Beer's there for the dig. Kaylee Rayner helps it on and just punched over by Christina Whitman. Gross sets it again to Dobson, who goes cross court. No problem for Lucero. Jones sets it, ooh, a little low. Just set over by Kingsby. Oh, great dig by Carly Beer. Hannah Kingsby keeps it going, and Cactus gets it over somehow in 3. They go outside the Nations with the big hit. Carly Beer may have been a little out of position from all the hustle on the last play, but again, Bailey Nation sends it home and puts Peoria up 7-6. This Meg Gross, well, still serving for the Panthers. Cero goes to Kingsby, and it gets blocked at the net by Taylor Blue. And I was just about to say, haven't heard much from Taylor Blue. And right on cue, she blocks Whitman Kingsby or Whitman at the net, pardon me. So it's 8-6 now. Peoria leads as Gross serves. Oh, and she'll get won't get the ace. Great play by Kingsby to keep it going. Cactus gets it over. They give it to Dobson, and Dobson tips it over. Oh, they're gonna say it hit the ground in front of a diving Michaela Jones. Wow, what phenomenal play, though, at the net by Hannah Kingsby. Very impressive is Kingsby, the 5'9" junior for the Cobras, but Peoria leads 9-6 as Meg Gross serves for the Panthers. Oh, big hit by Whitman. Christina Whitman, that was a huge hit. That's the first time she's missed that cross court. That makes it 10-6 now. Peoria 5 points away from leading as Cactus coach Lindsey Walls calls the timeout. Her team down by 4. Well, they'd have to outscore Peoria 9-3 if they wanted to win this game in 15, but Peoria 5 points away from taking it in 5. Can always expect a huge matchup like this from both teams that are extremely competitive. As Coach Walls says what she has to say. Gets her team back on the court. 10-6 though, Peoria leading. So on the court for Cactus, Natasha Lucero, Christina Whitman, Carly Beer, Hannah Kingsby, and Kaylee Rayner. Blue sets it for Peoria. They go outside the Nations, who just hits it over into the block, though. And now again a hit by Kingsby. Gross goes outside the Nations, who winds up and puts it down in front of Carly Beer. Bailey Nations is just picking her spot there. They got the play. Going back to serve again will be Meg Gross, who's gone on a huge run. So Gross, Dobson, Nations, Blue, and Cosgrove on the floor for Peoria as Gross gets the ace and makes it 12-6. Well, Coach Walls takes her second time out and trying to fire up her team, telling him to communicate, pointing out to her team where Peoria's going with the ball. Mostly Meg Gross did the shot there. Got to think, yes, Coach Walls is very fired up in that huddle. 12-6. 3 points away from Peoria battling back. They were down 2-1. They took the 4th game. I was going to say, if we played rule of numbers, Cactus is going to take, they took 1 and 3, thought they could take 5. But Peoria's up 12-6. It's not closed out yet. We know Cactus definitely has the ability to get a side out and go on a run of their own. 12-6 now as Meg Gross leads her team back onto the court. And Peoria will be, she will be serving for Peoria. Goes to Rayner. Jones with the hit on the outside. It's blocked at the net. They go outside to Nations, who hits. Oh, and it's blocked at the net by Hannah Kingsby again. Nations with the big hit. Kingsby blocks it, but it goes out of bounds. Hannah Kingsby's done a phenomenal job at the net for Coach Walls. But 13-6, Meg Gross going on a huge service run now for Peoria. Rayner pops it up to Jones. Beer sends it over. Cosgrove pops it up to go outside to Nations, looking for the big hit. Carly Beer's able to dig it this time. She gets help from Lucero, and Rayner punches it over. See if Gross, Gross goes right back to Nations, cross court. Oh, great job by Whitman to keep that up. It's hit by great job by Rayner to keep that up, and Whitman hits it over. They go to Jones with the hit, it's blocked. Popped up by Gross. Oh, and it was popped up too far by Lucero, and Taylor Blue gets it over. So it's game point and match point for Peoria here at Peoria High School. Meg Gross will serve for it. The crowd's on their feet. They go outside to Jones, who just taps it over. Nations pops it up. And Gross goes to Dobson, tries to go cross court. Oh, and they call it. It's a net violation on Cactus, and that's how it ends. 15-6, Peoria wins. Wow, Peoria takes it in 5. What a match by both teams. Two rivals out here on the west side of the valley here in Phoenix. So Cactus took the first game 25-22. Peoria takes the second game 25-15. Cactus battles back and takes the third 25-18. Peoria cruises in the fourth 25-16. And Peoria had control the whole time in the fifth game, 25-16. All right, well, before we get out of here, I definitely want to thank Rick Johnson, Liberty's athletic director, who is coordinating with IBN, scheduling the Peoria games volleyball-wise. So thank you, Rick Johnson. Also want to thank game day coordinator Steve Sellers, production coordinators Briggs Porter and Katie Grieve as well. So for Craig Maynard, I'm Michael Caratanudo. We're going to sign off from Peoria High School, where Peoria wins in 5 games over Cactus, beating their rivals. So once again, for Craig Maynard, I'm Michael Caratanudo. We're signing off from Peoria High School. We will catch you next week on the Volleyball Game of the Week on IBNSports.com.